just looks so terrible. It looks like a low-budget Apple ad where they're making and selling clones.
Honestly, I wish someone had thrown a javelin at the screen during the prequels.
And then there's another scene that stuck out to me. I watched them fairly like a year ago, I guess, and there's the scene where there's the Yoda lightsaber fight,
which is hilariously bad. Even then, that was some awful CG.
And so, actually, I don't know why though. So you've seen Yoda the whole movie, so that's not surprising at that point.
Mm-hmm.
What is surprising is there's a scene where he just force power knocks over a tower and tries to drop it on I forget who, Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like some of the worst CGI green screen. It looks like one of those old Hanna-Barbera cartoons where like one of the branches of the trees is like sticking out because that's the part that's going to move in 2 seconds.
Palpatine is in the background going.
Yeah, and they kept, he's like walking across the street and the background repeats like 19 times.
They keep running around.
It's so awful. It's aged so poorly. And I actually, that was one of the times where I was watching it and I was like, man, these movies are so bad already. I almost do want Lucas to do his Lucasy thing and go in and redo all the CGI. Like, not add CGI, but just update everything to these people.
You mean like Topher Grace's cuts of the prequels?
Yes, that's a perfect example. But I feel like, imagine that, except with George Lucas and his updated special edition prequel cuts, where you go to visit him and he's like, hey, do you want to see my special edition cuts of the Star Wars prequels? And everybody's just like, there's like,
it's getting pretty late, George. I think I'm going to have to go.
It's 11 a.m. I got a lot to do today. Didn't I see you, though?
By the way, if we're going to bring up comedy podcasts with Star Wars-related content, everybody should go and listen to the edited version of the Force Awakens trailer in which Paul F. Tompkins and Scott Aukerman are doing the Cantina theme over it.
That's amazing.
Oh, it's so good. They're probably my favorite Cantina theme cover band going.
As someone who sort of religiously tried to avoid media about Star Wars, I saw the one trailer, but besides that, I was sort of ignoring everything that I could.
As was I.
The part that got my hopes up the most and that I was the most disappointed by was Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh, his stupid new Cantina theme. I completely forgot it. I still haven't listened to. I listened to it separately.
Of Hamilton, the musical fame.
Yeah.
Wrote it came out within a week or so before the movie that he had between showings of Hamilton had been working with the Star Wars people to write a new Cantina song. It's one of the great catchy background music pieces. It's wonderful. And so as soon as they were walking up to Maz's cantina,
who, by the way, the only black woman in the movie. Lupita doesn't even get to be humanoid.
I hadn't realized till just this moment that that's where she was.
Yeah.
I heard so long ago that she got cast that I was like, oh, yeah, that's great. And I had forgotten till exactly this moment that she was supposed to be in the movie.
I believe that is the one scene that passes the Bechdel-Wallace test. If you include humanoid aliens as counting towards it.
They turned her into a dimpled tangerine.
Yep. One of the most beautiful, elegant women in movies today got turned into a weird-looking little alien.
That sucks so much because I kind of do like Maz as a character.
She's not a bad character.
No, but it's just like that's just so disappointing that that's how you use that talent. Man, there's a lot of women who are hidden behind helmets and CGI in this film.
Let me tell you, it's still there are still their inclusion was not bad. The fact that there were Asian lady X-wing pilots is fucking insane.
But
the fact that there were alien X-wing pilots, part of A New Hope, there are like no alien rebels in it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But Lin-Manuel Miranda, that song, They Walked in a Cantina, is so underwhelming.
Really,
it's not catchy at all. It's very slow. It's like it sounds like the players are on heroin at the time, and they think they're doing a good rendition of the song, but they're failing miserably.
Oh, it's very Opium Den.
Yeah, and it's just maybe that's what they were going for, and if so, they accomplished their goal. But like, I wish I hadn't heard that piece of trivia before, because that was just one of those things where I was like, well, maybe there'll be another scene when they'll play that song that they were talking about. This clearly is not it. And then they left that planet, and I was like, oh.
Honestly, that's one of the few things that I wish they had wholesale taken from the original trilogy.
Yeah, like
it's a hit song. I have to imagine it's a hit song in continuity.
Right, they're not playing deep cuts at these cantinas.
No, exactly. It's a covers band.
It's a top 40 type of scenario.
Exactly.
Like, just play the Cantina song again. You don't need to come up with original songs.
I like to think that the name of the Cantina theme is the Cantina theme.
The Cantina song is the Cantina song.
Yeah, exactly. If you're operating a cantina in the Star Wars universe, you're going to hear the Cantina song. It's like, do you like pina coladas in a place that sells pina coladas?
Oh yeah, so that bummed me out. Poor Lupita.
Yeah, I know. And that was the first big genre role she took after winning her Oscar. I know. I always love seeing what big genre picture an Oscar winner does after they win their Oscar to fucking completely lose their credibility and cash a paycheck. If you think Brie Larson's gonna win that Oscar, let me tell you, she's already filming a King Kong prequel.
Oh no!
Yeah, with Tom Hiddleston.
I feel King Kong is one of those movies that they have to keep remaking because it's
they shouldn't.
And
the original's so good, and
the original's so good, and the basic premise, without adding anything onto it, the bones of it have problematic elements that have not aged well.
Oh, they've aged terribly.
Like, stop doing it.
Yeah.
Stop trying to come up with a new context for that movie. That movie exists. We can appreciate it as a product of its time and as a famous film in history. Like, we don't need a new version of it.
Oh no! Let me tell you, this new King Kong movie, it's in continuity with the new Godzilla, and they're going to do King Kong versus Godzilla.
God, listen, I need to have a talk with Asian moviegoers about what they're doing to us.
The Japanese, Toho is doing their own Godzilla movie, independent of the American Godzilla remake.
No, I'm talking about this. So every time I read about...
About China being the world's #1 film market these days.
Right, they have the most people. I understand that that your movie's going to make 3, 4, 5 times as much if you make it also compelling for the Chinese market.
The Chinese loved Terminator Genesis.
And then that's there's just certain movies you're like Godzilla vs. King Kong, which grates on every part of my soul.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's not a zero-sum thing. Maybe that movie not getting made wouldn't mean some other original great piece of film would get made. But there's so many of them.
Yeah.
The
Chinese loved Pacific Rim.
You know what? Yeah. And this is just, I feel like the more people, so James Cameron has proven this, especially with Avatar.
Oh, which, by the way, now that a movie has been made that is challenging Avatar's reign as the biggest movie of all time, we can really see how bad a movie that Avatar was.
there's nothing on it to latch onto.
There's really fucking depth. Oh my god, this is hilarious. Cirque du Soleil is doing an Avatar-themed dance show in Florida.
That could work.
Let me tell you, it looks cheesy as fuck.
Oh, does it?
Oh, it looks awful. I believe it's called Toruk. It is literally people dressed in full Na'vi makeup, dressed as Na'vi, doing Cirque du Soleil shit. It looks horrendous.
So my wife is a lifelong Cirque du Soleil fan. I've been to see many of them. And we saw, I've seen, I forget which one it was at this point. I've seen so many of them. But there was one where they were sort of dressed up, sort of alienish, not unlike the Na'vi. And I could see how they could make that work.
Mm-hmm.
That a lot of their costumes are pretty ridiculous.
I mean, the production value itself does not look bad. I'm just saying everything from a design standpoint. It looks like Avatar, which in itself looks like fucking Lisa Frank smoked too much DMT one day. I was like, hey, let's fucking make some things that attach their ponytails to aliens' buttholes.
I forget who it was, but somebody famously described it as like the dreams of a sleepy French porno conductor. Like there's a director. It matches that pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty well. So but anyway, so Avatar, like the more people you try and aim something at, the less it's interesting about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Avatar was like the broadest, like every character was an archetype only. It's exactly what I was describing before. It's like I don't get the feeling in Avatar that anything exists outside of what they've shot. Like there's no sense of a broader world. There's like this narrow lane that is happening. And like nothing else. Like I'm sure nobody even checked for continuity on that movie because there's no concept of consistency in that world. Like it's garbage.
It is.
And I think when you're trying to make movies, that a lot of art I think is most art. All art is culturally dependent. And when you're like trying to aim the same movie at two completely different cultures, I don't know. I mean, maybe you're boiling down something more universal about humanity if you're able to accomplish that. But I feel like it's also just like nobody's fully going to appreciate that experience.
It's a movie where somebody non-ironically goes, "We're not in Kansas anymore." That's all you really need to know. And honestly, I will say that Force Awakens, in two different scenes, people say, "We've got company."
Oh, is that true?
Yes. Two separate scenes. People go, "We've got company," and it's like, if someone had read the script from start to beginning, like one more time, they would have caught that.
Yeah, I do feel like Star Wars has gotten like they're using very clearly the Marvel model, where they're pumping out movies. They're not letting the machine is very well developed at this point.
Yeah,
like. There's no Star Wars movies. They're going to be caught in some development hell where, like, Peter Jackson is going to be working on them for 19 years. Like,
these movies need to come out on the schedule.
Yeah, and in a lot of ways, I think that's better. I don't think I'm not a big believer in gestation over dozens of years is going to help the project in any realizable way. Like
literally, the only movie that has ever benefited from that is Fury Road.
And that was forced upon him.
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't like me or anything about me or anything I like or anything I stand for. They're gutless cowards. They're impotent people, little children. I maybe poked the bear a little bit. I don't even call it a bear. I poked the cockroach. And I made fun of them on a bunch of tweets and Facebook posts over the course of 5 years. And maybe I got under their skin and then, have a successful TV show, doing, pretty successful in the UFC and a pretty good sniper. And they don't like those things.
Well, they should have liked it because you can kill it from a very long distance. So what do you do now? Is this something that you take? Of course, you're going to take it serious. You're going to back up. Is there more security? Well, what do you do?
I don't know if I could physically, logistically own more weapons that I already own. I'm not going to go into the situation that I have security-wise, but they don't go after hard targets. I'm a hard target. My house, everything about my life is a hard target. I'm a Green Beret. I'm a sniper. I'm a ranger. I'm a killer. I'm a UFC fighter. And my family's well protected. So nothing's going to change here. Nothing has changed. They're still as disgusting as they've ever been.
Give me an idea of how that conversation went when you got in touch with the FBI. And of course, they're going to look into this. And they determine, as you say, this is a credible threat that ISIS has made against you. But what was all that dialogue when you first called? He has always been entertaining, always made it interesting every time we have spoken with him over the years on this show. But Tim, I got to tell you, this is our strangest conversation ever. How in the world did this all happen? The credible threat that ISIS made against you. How were you singled out?
I don't know. They don't like me or anything about me or anything I like or anything I stand for. They're gutless cowards. They're impotent, feeble, pathetic little children. I maybe poked the bear a little bit. I don't even call it a bear. I poked the cockroach. And I made fun of them on a bunch of tweets and Facebook posts over the course of 5 years. And maybe I got under their skin and then, have a successful TV show, doing, pretty successful in the UFC and a pretty good sniper. And they don't like those things.
Well, they should have liked you because you can kill it from a very long distance. So what do you do now? Is this something that you take? Of course, you're going to take it serious. You're going to back up. Is there more security? Well, what do you do?
I don't know if I could physically, logistically own more weapons than I already own.